President of Bolivia, Luis Arce, held a meeting with several journalists about the failed coup d'etat against his government. The second CELAC Social Forum began on Thursday in Tegucigalpa, Honduras, where delegations from several countries will address the efforts to fight poverty and promote social justice. And at 8 a.m. local time, polling stations opened in Iran to begin the presidential election in the country. Hello and welcome to From the South. My name is Belén de los Santos. I'm from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. The president of Bolivia, Luis Arce, held a meeting with several journalists about a failed coup d'etat against his government. In statements delivered from the Casa Grande del Pueblo, the president made comments related to the failed coup attempt led by former Army Commander General Juan José Zúñiga. In his speech, he reviewed the events which threatened to destroy democracy in Bolivia, comparing the violence generated during this act with the previous actions. He also highlighted the conviction of the members of his cabinet in the defense of the democratic process in Bolivia. The press conference concluded with a round of questions from several journalists.
We took the decision to go down and to face those who were heading this failed coup attempt. We faced them. I had the command baton that characterizes me or characterized the General Captain of the Air Forces that is also used in the public acts. I take the baton, I go down to be able to face to those who were heading the operation, coup operation. To the three commanders, I order them to stand down. And to General Zúñiga, I ordered to redeploy all the forces, all the military forces that were deployed there in Plaza Murillo.
And the Minister of the Presidency of Bolivia, María Nela Parada, also gave details about the attempted coup carried out by former Army Commander Juan Zúñiga against President Luis Arce.
Entonces, cuando logra abrir las puertas del Palacio Quemado,
then, when he managed to open the doors of the Palacio Quemado, what happened is that there was our president. I was with him, and he tells me, "Comrade, I'm going to face Zúñiga, and I'm going to do it to avoid a bloodshed, assuming all the consequences." And those are the images that are made public. The vice president went with the president, and I also went with the president, and we went down. When Zúñiga was already entering the presidential palace to later seize the Casa Grande del Pueblo, and our president confronted him directly, the first thing he told him was, the president was holding the baton of comrade delivered to him as president. And he says, "As you Captain General of the Armed Forces, I order you at this moment to demobilize the troops, demobilize the armored vehicles that have in Murillo Square, and comply with our Constitution and don't put the Bolivian people at risk."
We invite you to watch on Friday at 1 p.m. local time the exclusive interview with the Bolivian Minister of the Presidency, María Nela Parada, offered from our platform teleSUR, in which she informed that at least 14 citizens were injured as a result of the recent coup attempt. In other news, the second CELAC Social Forum began on Thursday in Tegucigalpa, capital of Honduras, where delegations from several countries will address the efforts to fight poverty and promote social justice. The event is attended by several former presidents, among other personalities, that will discuss the challenges of regional integration, the role of social movements in the defense of democracy, revolutionary processes, and the fight against coup d'etats, making a special reference to the coup attempt against President Luis Arce in Bolivia. According to the program, the plenary session of the CELAC Social will be held on the 29th, followed by the working tables, and it is expected that the day will conclude with the presentation of a final declaration. In this context, Honduras also inaugurated the 27th Sao Paulo Forum in commemoration of the coup d'etat against Manuel Zelaya on June 28, 2009. The event is attended by important figures and representatives from various political and social spheres, including former Venezuelan Vice President Jorge Arce. In turn, the forum promotes debates on fiscal justice, the pro-government horizon, the politicization of justice, the crisis of capitalism, social struggles, and imperialist interference in Latin America and the Caribbean. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, extended an invitation to U.S. entrepreneurs to invest in the country's oil fields. From Petroboscan, southeast of the capital of Zulia State, one of the oil Venezuelan poles, the head of state highlighted the good health of oil production. Currently, this facility alone produces 86,000 barrels per day, which at the end of 2024 will reach 96,000 barrels per day, according to projections. Maduro assured potential partners that investment in the Venezuelan oil industry is guaranteed on account of the high qualification of its workforce, among other factors. And the Argentine Chamber of Deputies approved on Friday the law of bases proposed by President Javier Milei, which may enter into force since it has been previously endorsed by the Senate. The vote resulted in 147 votes in favor, 107 against, and 2 abstentions after more than 12 hours of debate. The initiative was supported by the ruling party Liberty Advances and most of the right-wing friendly opposition. For their part, leftist opposition, Union for the Homeland and the Left Front, in addition to 2 socialist deputies of the province of Santa Fe, voted against it. The outcome represents the first legislative success for the president, who, after more than 6 months of government, succeeded in getting Congress to approve an initiative that is fundamental to his political project. Meanwhile, on Thursday, the Peruvian Public Prosecutor's Office filed a constitutional complaint before Congress against former President Pedro Castillo. This complaint comes days after the Constitutional Court declared inadmissible an habeas corpus lawsuit filed by the defense of the former Peruvian head of state, seeking his immediate reinstatement as president of the South American country. The new complaint accuses Castillo of allegedly committing the crime of incompatible negotiation or taking undue advantage of the position and illegal appointment to the detriment of the state. Pedro Castillo has been detained under preventive detention since 2022 when he was ousted amid massive demonstrations in support of his government that were violently repressed by now President Dina Boluarte. We now move on to other topics. In Colombia, at least 10 people were killed by heavy rains that hit the department of Antioquia in the northwest of the country. The heavy rains have also left 11 people missing and caused considerable material damage in the region. The authorities informed that the last incident left 2 minors dead and several families affected in a landslide in the municipality of Abriaqui. For its part, the government of Antioquia set up a unified command post to monitor the situation, attend to all the roads affected by the landslides, and make progress in the emergency work generated by the heavy rains. And in Peru, at least 3 people have been reported injured after a strong earthquake of magnitude 7 that was registered early morning on Friday in the southern region of Arequipa. In regard to this event, the Geophysical Institute reported it was felt in several districts of the capital, Lima. Afterwards, the Navy issued a tsunami warning that authorities assured had a preventive nature and is intended to keep the citizens away from the coast. So far, 2 aftershocks have been registered, none greater than 4.2 in scale and with no risks of tsunami. The mayor of the province of Carabalí, Roberto Soto, confirmed that the quake caused severe structural damage to public and residential buildings, leaving many people temporarily on the streets. Now let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. On Friday at 8 a.m. local time, polling stations opened in Iran to begin the presidential election. This way, the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, while voting in the city of Husseiniya, called on the more than 61 million voters to cast their ballots to achieve a historic and massive participation. In this sense, local authorities stressed that 59,000 polling stations opened on time to a calm electoral environment. It is estimated that the process will last until 6 p.m., but may be extended if necessary.
God willing, I'll definitely vote because it's a right given to me. If I don't use it, then I will be unfair to myself. I must vote so that I, not outsiders, can have a role in the destiny of my country.
In this context, two candidates of the presidential election withdrew Thursday as the country prepared for the polls. According to Islamic Republic News Agency, former Vice President under Raisi administration, Amir Hossein Khazisadeh Hashemi, withdrew his candidacy and urged others to do the same with the intention of strengthening the Revolution Front. On the other hand, Tehran Mayor Alireza Sakani also withdrew his candidacy in order to block the formation of a third government by former President Hassan Rouhani, an allusion to the reformist candidate Masouan Pezeshkian. More than 61 million Iranians are called to participate in the presidential elections, 30 million of them being women. And now let's learn more about the four presidential candidates that are running for the top government position at the Islamic Republic of Iran. To start, let's see some review highlights of Said Jalili's political career. Jalili officially started his diplomatic and political career in 1989 at the Iranian Foreign Ministry. In 2001, he was director of policy planning for the leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. Between 2007 and 2015, he served as secretary of the Iranian Supreme Security Council. During 2015, he opposed to the world deal with 6 world powers. In addition, Jalili was a presidential candidate in the year 2021, but withdrew in favor of Ebrahim Raisi, who was the Iranian president until his death on May 19th this year. And now let's see more about the political career of Mohammad Bakr Kalibaf, another candidate for the presidential seat of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Kalibaf is one of the country's leading political figures. He was announced as one of the 6 candidates after evaluation and approval by the Constitutional Council of the country. A founder of the Islamic Students Association, Kalibaf's political career includes his election as a mayor of Tehran in the year 2005 for a 12-year term. He has also served as Speaker of the Iranian Parliament since 2020, getting re-elected for the position a few weeks ago. The present polls are not the politician's first, as he also ran for the position in 2005 presidential elections and then again was a candidate in 2013 but lost to Hassan Rouhani. In 2017, Kalibaf announced his run for a third time but withdrew in favor of the late Ebrahim Raisi's candidacy. With this background and on the last day of registration, the politician submitted his candidacy for the current elections. And we continue presenting the profiles of the candidates who were running on the 14th presidential elections in Iran. Next is candidate Masouan Pezeshkian. Born in 1954, he has a PhD in medicine and general surgery from Tabriz University. He was appointed health minister from 2001 to 2005 during former President Khatami's term. From 2016 to 2020, he served as first Deputy Speaker of Parliament. He has previously run for the elections in 2013 and 2021, and in 2013 he resigned in favor of Ayatollah Ali Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, while in 2021 the Guardian Council didn't pass him as candidate. Currently, he promises to follow the lead of the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei and attaches importance to unity among all political domestic factions, regardless of their affiliations. And finally, let's review the profile of candidate Mustafa Pur Mohammadi, also in the race of the presidency of Iran. He started in the Islamic Revolution when he was 20 years old, ascending to a position of prosecutor of the Court of the Revolution of Masjid Suleiman, position that he held until 1985. He served as Minister of Intelligence and later, between 2013 and 2017, was Minister of Justice. He is currently a member and political secretary of the Society of the Fighting Clergy, an organization of the Usularan Current, the conservative wing of the Iranian political system. Now we have a final short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience. You can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and also share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean, as well as the rest of the world. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. We continue in Iran, where our Middle East correspondent, Hisham Wanous, will tell us about the development on Election Day in these early presidential elections. Let's listen.
Hello, colleagues. Greetings, dear viewers. We are currently in the capital of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Tehran, where since 8 a.m. Tehran local time, the 14th presidential election, which was called by the interim president Mohamed Major after the passing of President Ibrahim Raisi due to a helicopter crash, together with his foreign minister Hossein Amir Abdel-Lajan and 6 of his companions on May 19th has begun, and where Iranian citizens are currently flocking to the various polling stations to exercise their right to vote. It is just highlighted the attendance of these voters. According to Iranian authorities, 59,000 polling stations were established in 95 countries, both inside and outside Iran, where 61 million Iranians inside and outside the country were summoned to exercise their right to vote and define the future of their country by electing a new president from among the four candidates vying for the office of the presidency. After one has been dropped. It should be noted that among the main issues that stand out in this electoral contest are the economic issues due to the sanctions imposed by Western nations, especially the United States, and also the issue of good neighborly relations with neighboring nations and foreign relations with the whole world, and also with Iran's enemies, and not only with its allies, but also the just Palestinian cause and defending the Palestinian cause, and what is currently happening in the region of West Asia and in the entire Middle East. We have to highlight that the supreme leader of Iran's Islamic Revolution, Sayyid Ali Khamenei, called on the Iranians to participate massively in these elections, assuring that the broad participation represents the Iran's and represents the principles of the revolution, and invited the Iranian to continue participating, to continue following the interests of the Iranian people who are attached to the principles of revolution and the Iranian system. It is worth noting also the holding of these elections in an atmosphere of stability in Iran after the death of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and in the midst of an atmosphere of stability in Iran, according to Iranians. This way, regarding security, Iranians claim it reflects the spirit of the Iranian system and also ensures that Iran is a country of institutions and that continues with its management despite all the difficulties and adversities, and the holding of these elections is a solid demonstration of that. This is all the information we have for now.
And after this report from Iran, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also join us on social media. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, my name is Belén de los Santos. Thank you for watching.